Hi everyone, Scott Ruthven here. Hey, just a quick video. As promised, last week in my live stream video, I painted a winter scene, and where I left off, I wasn't quite happy with the end result, and I went in, I spent about 35 more minutes on it to finish the painting, and I thought it'd be worthwhile to put a video together about the self-critique process and show you the process and the steps I go through to finish a painting. Now stay tuned to the end, and I'm going to give you a link to access my full checklist for free. So don't miss that. All right, let's begin. Here's the painting that I started with. You can see, all right. So on the left here is the painting that I finished the live stream with that you all saw. And then on the right is the one after I put in the 35 minutes of finishing touches. So what did I do? All right, let's start here. The first thing was the sky. The contrast wasn't enough in that blue. So I needed a punch of color to get it more to the blue side. And I needed it to be darker so it would set those clouds, the light of those clouds, further forward. I actually didn't really do anything to the clouds. The picture on the left is from video, and the one on the right is a photo. So I think the video kind of smoothed out things a little bit. I'm not sure what. I think in that middle cloud I might have added a little white, but generally I didn't touch the clouds. It was all, the difference is all in the negative painting of the blue sky, bringing up that chroma and putting the shape in the clouds with that. The second thing is the mountain then. I wasn't really too happy with this. I liked the general shape, but it was a little too rounded, a little too soft, and just kind of felt too soft, not mountain-like, kind of marshmallow-like. So I went in, and what I did here is I mentioned this in the video before, is I wanted this shape to be darker, that shadow side over here. But then I took the same colors, and you can see I'll zoom in here a little bit. I added some details in here. But really all it is just some individual brush marks of warm and cool. So some of the warm from in here and the cool from in here, and just adding some textures inside of there. Let me get rid of all that drawing so you can see that again. And what that does is that just gives the viewer an indication, a little more of the undulations of the snowbanks, the rocks, whatever is up there. Every time there's a change in that surface, you get a change in temperature. Okay, so that was number two. A key critical part then is the drawing accurate? And I think that would fall into this category. You always go back and check, ask yourself, is the drawing accurate? Do I have any tangents or lines that are meeting in a way that doesn't look right or natural? What didn't I see when I was so absorbed in this? And a lot of times the self-critique is best done at a later time, when you have a little bit of time and space between you and when you did the painting, or between now and when you did the painting. That gives your eyes and your brains a little bit of time to reset, and you maybe see it with fresher eyes. So that's a good point. Drawing wise, I didn't have any drawing errors. I just wanted to make this mountain a little less rounded. And you can see actually I flattened the top a little bit as well. I think that helped to strengthen that. Okay. The next main area, I thought this was a little bit bright over here, even though that mountain slope of snow was in the light and fully lit. It was a little too bright, so I softened that a little bit, darkening this area here, so your eye doesn't get stuck in that bright spot there. It is allowed to move into that, but then onto the mountain behind there. Okay, the trees. So generally the shape of the trees was all good. The light, the areas that were in light, so like that, versus what's in shadow, all of that design stayed true, but I was missing some key darks, and I mentioned this in the video as well, key darks. Sometimes you just need a few that really punch up the painting. It depends on the mood you're trying to convey too, so not every painting is going to have the full range of values. This one does. It's a fully lit sun scene, you've got the bright white of the snow, but you also have the really dark darks that are down in the pine tree underbrush. It's not getting any light. So I added some dark darks just a few of them really to punch them up. I also did notice, actually, I had a little bit of a drawing error here where it was light and this kind of tree mass here was all in light, and I needed to extend it further down. So I brought it down here, and that provided a nice backdrop for the highlight on the snowbank here, if you can see that. And then as far as the trees go, the other major change I made there was just adding a few variations of color in the highlights. Not much in this tree at all, but you can see some of that right in here and again over on this tree on the left. Some colors, like just varying, I added some reds and some oranges into that, and they were in the lighter value range, so they're clearly in the light side of the tree. And again, that added some depth, visual interest, and texture to those trees, which is really important. The next thing that I did, and this is what actually started me thinking, the mountain and these dogwood trees in the foreground were the two things I thought needed some more work. This is a great shape on the left side. I really wanted that. The color was right. But then when I looked at them after my live stream, I thought, it's just too rounded. It's too generic of a shape. And that's not how they are. So with very little bit of work, I think they look substantially different. They hold the same space in the picture plane, same color, same value, but with a little bit of edge work in there, I'm able to make them look much more believable. I really like these. So I'm going to zoom in on both. Here's before, and you can see that I've got, kind of the light side of it. I've got some changes in color temperature that add interest, and then I've got some that are a little bit more in shadow. So all good, and they're sized right and fit the need. But when I go over here and look at then the finished piece, you can see how I've changed the edge. So I went in with some of my darks and I carved in on that edge. And I also added some of the color, just little bits of it, like twigs and stuff coming up. And that took that nice hard edge, or maybe not nice hard edge, and it softened it a bit. And it made it look more organic. I also then put in a little bit of some snow, which is very common in these, where the snow comes down and it catches in the little crooks of the branches. I really like that. So I put a shadow color and a light color of the snow. And really that's about it. But look at the difference between those two. And that's a key element of this picture. That's the punch in this picture for me. When I think about, which is maybe the first thing on my critique list that you'll see, is why did I paint the painting? What drew it to me? Well, it was the warm punch of those reds and oranges against this winter background scene. I really like that. The warm light juxtaposed against the cold, obviously the cold day of the mountains. The last thing I did was this area back in here. I wanted to, there's a shoreline over here with snow, there's a lake, and then I wanted this highlight of the snowbank in the foreground to really stand out. It's catching light, and I needed it to be able to stand out. So you can see here that I took the lake, the shape of the lake and that value, that darker tone, and I brought that down. So that provided the contrast I needed right there to say the lake's back here, the snowbank's up here, and we're getting light coming in and highlighting that snowbank. So these are just a few of the things that I go through when I critique any of my work. I have a full self-critique checklist. I don't even know how many points are on it, but quite a few. I'm going to give that to you for free. So there's a link below. If you click on that link, then I'll give you access into a web page that has my full critique list. You can print it from there, do whatever you want with it. But I know it can be tough to critique your own work objectively, right? And oftentimes maybe we don't do it, but it's important to do it. And if you start thinking about these elements and assessing your finished work against these, it'll help your work grow quite a bit. And then over time, you'll just start to think about those things as you're painting right from the start. It makes us all a better artists. Our artwork will turn out better. I hope that's of value to you. It's my gift to you. Some of the things on there might make you smile a little bit and wonder, but it's all good stuff and it's helped me. Anyway, I would love your comments. Let me know what you think. You can go back and watch that other video. And I post if you're new to my channel, there's a community tab. So if you go to my channel, the community tab, and I'll post the original source photograph, and you're welcome to take that source material and do your painting together. You could go back to my live stream and paint live with me, watch the live stream, and then try it on your own, whatever you want to do. And share your work with me. I'd love to see it. So as always, if I can help you, you have any questions, just let me know. And thanks for tuning in. Till the next time, see you soon. Bye-bye.